A Florida woman threw a cat into a river and threatened to kill her ex. A Florida man fell asleep in a Wendy's drive-thru after 3 rum and cokes. A Florida woman fetches a mop from a drugstore to fend off a masturbating Florida man. And another Florida man was arrested for allegedly groping women, cracking eggs on their heads. These are the weird stories, all from Florida, because it's Friday, and this is Weird AF News. This is the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian, only daily weird news podcast that does Florida Fridays, all the weird news from Florida that I thought was worthy.
Those bizarre stories you hear about all the time that seem to only happen here in Florida. I know, right?
Can't make this stuff up. It is just one of the many wacky news stories out of Florida.
Why does the Sunshine State consistently produce such strange news?
But what accounts for all this bizarre news? Is it the weather? Is it the people?
Florida is full of the crazy stories.
A Florida woman threw a cat into the river and threatened to kill her ex-boyfriend. It's only love and that is all. A cat is the star of this story out of Florida. The cat's name is Stanley. Thankfully, Stanley is expected to be okay and is recovering in Oak Hill after a Florida woman threw the animal into a river while it was locked inside a crate, according to the county sheriff's office. They arrested Christina Thistle, age 53, on Thursday She was arrested at a certain place, guys. I'm going to give you some choices. You can guess. Was it at the Titty Bar? All right. Was it at a mobile home park? Or was she naked behind a Popeyes? So those are your choices. If you said B, mobile home park, you'd be correct. Quality mobile home park behavior. Christine chucking a cat into a river. Wow. Investigators say Christine and her ex-boyfriend were in an argument. Okay. Now, the man was told to move out of their mobile home, all right? But he wasn't moving out fast enough. The relationship had come to an end. She wanted him out. You get out of my double wide, Larry. Chuck your cat into the frost. Now, the man, who isn't named, told investigators that Christine picked up the cat in a crate. It's 9 months old, so it's a very young cat. Probably very scared. Not too pleased to find itself living in a mobile home park in Florida. I mean, of all the places where you're going to live as a cat, that's not a good one. So she picks up the cat crate, throws it into what's called the Intercoastal Waterway. I don't know what that is. Obviously, the boyfriend the ex-boyfriend jumped into the water to rescue Stanley. Investigators say when they arrived, the boyfriend was very wet, and so was Stanley. But Stanley was wrapped in a towel. It's going to be okay. Now, Christine Thistle denied throwing Stanley into the water, according to the deputies. She was arrested, though, on charges of animal cruelty because we will not stand for that. Now, you can throw a baby into the river, but how dare you throw a cat? The cat people will really come down hard on you. Now, while in custody, Christine demanded to be taken to jail so she could, quote, make a phone call, get out on bail, and murder her ex-boyfriend. That's exactly what she said to the deputies. Yeah, just bring me to jail. All right, I need to make a phone call so I can get out and murder that man. Because when you're making plans to murder someone, you want to say it out loud in a police station. Now, records show Christine has several domestic violence charges on her criminal record, but yet still tries to make it work. This poor boyfriend didn't know what he was getting into, even brought a cat onto the scene. Following the murder threat, Christine also faces a charge of simple assault. I don't know what simple assault means. I guess that's just poking someone. It's a little bit of an insult. It's certainly not throwing your prized possession, your beloved feline, into a river. A Florida man fell asleep in the Wendy's drive-thru after 3 rum and cokes because he's a lightweight. Boca Raton, Florida, a man allegedly fell asleep in his car while in the Wendy's drive-thru on North Federal Highway on Monday night. You guys know the one. What's the name of this guy? Stephen Wolf. Ooh, can't hold his liquor, Stephen Wolf. Probably shouldn't be driving. But, he had a few rum and cokes and he wanted a Frosty. I've been there. I know how it is, Stephen. It's a very hot place. You want a Frosty. Now, the officers who arrested him apparently had to work quite diligently to wake him up in the drive-thru. Imagine getting that call. There's a guy sleeping in our drive-thru. You show up and he's just zonked out in the drive-thru, just right behind the wheel, car still running. Probably like a glass of rum and coke right in the seat as well. Now, he told the officers he consumed 3 rum and cokes at a place called O'Brien's before the Wendy's incident. O'Brien's has to be like the #1 name of Irish pubs, I'd say, O'Brien's. More people are getting DUIs leaving O'Brien's pubs than probably any other bar in America, maybe in the world. Nothing good happening at an O'Brien's. So from the police report, it says this. The officer knocked on the window of Wolf's vehicle for about 2 minutes while telling Wolf to roll the window down, and he continued to fumble with the gear shift and the air conditioner before actually rolling the window down. Wolf finally unlocked the door and exited the vehicle, stumbling out. When Wolf was asked if he knew what day it was, he swayed back and forth to keep balance and had a very blank look on his face. Wolf could not advise what day it was or where he was, but he did say he'd like a large fry and a Frosty. Also, on the report, per the investigating officer, now, I spoke to a witness who stated that he was in the Wendy's drive-thru line behind this guy, Wolf. He noticed that he did not move. So he got out of his vehicle, went inside to tell the Wendy's staff that the guy wasn't moving. But they did not do anything, so that's when he called the police. The witness stated he banged on the window several times as well, but Wolf never responded to the man's attempt because he was sleeping clearly. Too many rums and cokes. Based on my observations and witness statements, it was determined that Mr. Wolf might have been under the influence of a controlled substance or even alcohol. So, yeah, you think so, buddy? That's when I began my DUI investigation. I thought, a man sleeping at the wheel must be a little bit under a controlled substance, is my guess. Well, Wolf advised that he had just come from O'Brien's. He had some drinks with some friends. He stated he had about 3 rums and cokes, normal-sized drinks, quote. He called them normal-sized drinks. But I'm guessing if 3 rums and cokes put you out like that, they're a little bit bigger than the normal-sized drinks. Because, I've had 3 rums and cokes before, and I can get through a drive-thru. I can do a lot of things on 3 rums and cokes. I play a damn good game of cornhole, I'll tell you right now. Anyways, back to my statement. Wolf stated that he had taken his nephew to play basketball earlier in the day and hasn't been sleeping well since he started a new job, so he was tired and he fell asleep. What's his new job? Well, he works at the McDonald's drive-thru. Now, while speaking to Wolf, I could smell the odor of alcohol emanating from his breath. He was slurring his words. My guess is it's more than 3 rums and cokes, or if they are 3 rums and cokes, those bad boys are supersized. A Florida woman fends off a masturbating man with a mop. Miami Beach. A Florida lady tried to put an end to a man masturbating outside of a Miami Beach drugstore. She went inside and grabbed a mop with the intent of striking this masturbating Floridian. But before she could take any action, police had already seen this man exposing and touching himself in front of the store. What's this man's name? Geraldo Palacio. This occurred on Thursday, just before 10 p.m. Miami Beach officers were patrolling that block when they saw Palacio and a woman standing over him shouting, "You are disgusting! Disgusting! You are disgusting, you masturbating man! Gross!" Now, as the police approached this scene, the woman had stormed off into the Walgreens along with her 2 children. Oh no, the children were there. You can't be masturbating in front of the children. Now, you can do it in front of the adults in Florida, from my understanding, but just when there's children around, you got to keep it in your pants there. Pete, keep your willy in your pants, Palacio. You know the deal. So she runs into the Walgreens with her 2 children. She comes out with a mop. Doesn't say whether or not she paid for the mop. And I'm trying to think, what's in a Walgreens? What would have been a better weapon than a mop? Mop's very good. Very good. I'm thinking like a rolling pin. Because when you clock somebody in the skull with a rolling pin, that'll really put him out. The mop is a little bit flimsy of a weapon. Can any of you guys think of a better weapon that you could grab from a drugstore? Do they sell mace or tasers in a drugstore? Yeah, if they do, they're behind the locked glass, and it's going to take you too long to get that. Do they sell knives? What is in a Walgreens that you could use to fend off a masturbating Floridian? I'm wondering. What if you just grabbed like some bug spray and a lighter and just made yourself like a DIY flamethrower and just burned off his willy? What about that? So the woman comes out with a mop. Back to the story. The cops are already on the scene. When she sees the police, she told them that this guy had been following her and her children for several blocks while openly touching himself while behind them. Police said This guy then sat in front of the drugstore and continued his actions in front of other passersby. He also shouted at one of the officers. Here's what he shouted. "I love you, baby. You are my boyfriend." Which is just the most unbelievable thing you could say to a police officer while you're touching yourself. "I love you, baby. You are my boyfriend. Come on, let's go behind the Walgreens." Can I get your number? Palacio is age 55 and lonely, clearly. And his address is listed as homeless, and he's been arrested for lewd and lascivious not behavior. This is more specific. Now, I've covered the lewd and lascivious behavior many times on Florida Stories especially. This is lewd and lascivious exhibition in front of children. Now, the woman, thankfully, didn't face any charges despite her alleged intent to assault the man. Yeah, as she shouldn't. You should be able to go grab a weapon when someone is masturbating in front of your children. You should be able to clock them in the face freely. And then we should all be able to tie them up in the town square and masturbate in their face ourselves, in that person's face. No, that's a little over the top. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to do that anyways, but we should be able to tie him up in the town square and then throw eggs at his face. What about that, huh? What every mother in the place should be able to make a long line and walk by and slap him in the jaw. I feel like that's fair if you've masturbated in front of a mother and children, huh? What about every child in the town gets to come and throw darts at your face? What about that? I feel like that's a fair punishment for someone who masturbates in front of children. Now, of course, what I love most about the story, let's be clear, is the woman didn't take any shit. She just was like, you know what? I've had about enough of these men taking it out in public in Florida, okay? It happened on the bus ride over here. It happened yesterday at the DMV. Now, I'll be damned if I'm going to go to Walgreens with my kids and see this again. I've had it, and I'm going to put a stop to this. And she just went and got a weapon, took matters into her own hands, because a lot of times you can't trust the police to get involved. By the time they get there after you call them, the masturbation's over. The man's gone. She was like, you know what? Right on the spot, I'm going to whack him in the nuts with a mop. I'm going to make him stop myself. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. The police have arrested a man who allegedly groped women while wearing fake boobs and breaking eggs on their head. It's very strange. The police have arrested a dude after women claimed that they were groped and had eggs cracked on their heads. It doesn't say where this took place. We'll have to wrap our heads around this, use our imagination. Maybe cracking eggs out a window, dropping it on pedestrians below. But then they're too far away to grope, so it must have happened at close quarters. I don't know how you grope somebody and then still have time to crack an egg on their head. Police received 6 reports, actually, in the past 6 weeks, that a man was targeting women. And each report states the man cracked an egg on the woman's head. In some cases, the woman reported they were also groped. And in one case, a woman said the man was wearing what appeared to be fake breasts over his clothes. The guy's 43 years old, and they believe that there are actually additional victims that have yet to come forward. So they're asking if anyone has had an instance of being groped by a man wearing fake breasts, or if he was trying to make eggs over easy on your skull. Please reach out. This guy's name is Michael Todd Shartner. Shart. Oh, the poor guy's got Shart in his name. He was destined for degeneracy. Shartner, age 43, has been charged with 6 counts of sexual assault with a weapon. Well, is that what they're calling the eggs a weapon? Well, that's strange. He's also charged with unauthorized possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of body armor. Is that what you're calling the fake breastises? Body armor? The police have weird phrases for things. Here's a quote from a police spokesperson. The egg is in fact the weapon in this case. The other firearm-related charge was a result of a search warrant at his home. So the egg is a weapon in the case. I didn't know eggs were considered weapons. I've been guilty of using weapons then. I've thrown eggs at cars, at houses, at people as well, especially at Halloween. I was a teenager. This is what you did. It was toilet paper and eggs. We had a good time. Let me tell you, a very good time. There wasn't a lot to do where I live, all right? Just egging cars was so much fun. I didn't realize at the time that I was assaulting people with a deadly weapon. Well, the police want you to know if any of you women have been attacked by a fake boob, egg-breaking groper, then please call. Please call and let us know. I mean, they already got the guy in custody. I guess they're just looking for people to come forward. So, thank God they got this egg-cracking groper off the streets. I got a lot of questions, though, that the article does not answer. I'd love to interview this man. Anyone want to send me to Florida? Kickstarter, baby. I'm going to Florida to interview the fake boob, egg-breaking groper. It's going to be one of my best one-on-ones ever. I'll bring a frying pan. Yay! I want your body till the very last drop. That was my Keith Sweat impression. Anyone impressed by my Keith Sweat impression? Who's Keith Sweat? I'm going to see a Keith Sweat concert soon. Guys, bragging. Just bragging right here. There you go, telling me no again. There you go. Oh, I can't wait. I love Keith Sweat. He's got like I saw that at one time he had a Keith Sweat cruise. It's called like the Sweat Cruise or something. You go on like a cruise with Keith Sweat. I thought that was amazing. I wanted to go, but I didn't. I was too embarrassed to ask anyone to go with. You're going to ask somebody to go with you on a Keith Sweat cruise. It's just like, dude, are you crazy? Did you ask me that? You guys going to any concerts? This will be the first concert I've been to since COVID. Well, if you've gone to one or going to one, give me a call. Is it okay to go to one? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just trying to live a life, guys. Just trying to live a life. I'm just trying to not be depressed. So going to see Keith Sweat is part of that equation. Yeah. All right, Jonesy, what are you talking about? Can you get into the outro? I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for sending me Florida articles. Let's talk about that first. I appreciate it. I thought today's Florida Friday story was exquisite. Hope you're having a nice weekend, or you had one. And if you guys want to send me photos or anything, just go funnyjones@gmail.com. You can send me articles as well. I'm always open for articles. They don't have to be Florida-centric. They could be weird articles from any other area of the world as well. And if you would like to support the show by joining the Patreon, that would be supremely helpful. Please consider that, so I can buy more tickets to 90s washed-up R&B artists. I'm talking to you, Tevin Campbell. Now, the Patreon is patreon.com/weirdafnews. And today I posted a few things in there. One of them is Florida related, of course, because there are some stories that out of Florida that I want to do, but they're much better done visually. There's a video of what happened, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that, because you could just watch the video. It does a much better job than me describing it. Okay, I realize my setbacks and my limitations. Okay, trying to put out the best show as possible. I never said I was an expert, okay? Just a comedian trying to get a chuckle here and teach you about the world and make you feel better about yourself, because you can say, hey, at least I didn't get an egg cracked on my head and groped today by a man wearing fake boobs. How about that? At least there wasn't a man masturbating outside of the Walgreens when I was walking my 2 children by. You can feel better about yourself. You say, hey, at least I don't live in Florida. Wouldn't live there. Be like, I'd rather live in Afghanistan than Florida. No, that's a little over the top. Maybe not. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close. JK, guys, JK. Anyways, I love you very much. Thanks for all your support. I appreciate you all. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. And we'll see you on Monday.